As far as, a singer goes, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I've never heard anyone belt that high. Like, I don't know. It's so effortless. Like, she is like the songbird of the group, and like the perfect high note that we need, like the perfect cherry on top that no one can quite get to. She's just like, okay, ah! I'm like, wait, what? How did you even do that?
This is Courtney Mason, and this is the Millennial Dreamers Podcast, where I profile successful millennial entrepreneurs, creatives, artists, and thought leaders who are navigating the unconventional life of their dreams and profiting from their passion. I also share inspiration and career tips to help you take the leap of faith and go after your dreams. Every single year, the Essence Music Festival is held in the city of New Orleans during 4th of July weekend. It's a whirlwind of Black culture, music, networking, learning, fun, fellowship, all of that. And apparently it's also the perfect place for chance encounters, because that's exactly what happened when I ran into the legendary Frank Gatson Jr. during a 4th of July party. More about that in an upcoming episode. But if you're unfamiliar with Frank Gatson, I would suggest that you go ahead and do a quick Google search so you're familiar with his resume and why I would personally be so excited to sit and talk with him. Well, during our conversation, he told me about all the different scheduled performances the group he manages had over the weekend. That group is none other than June's Diary. June's Diary is a phenomenal singing group made up of 5 dynamic women in their own right. The group was formed on BET's original docuseries Chasing Destiny in 2016, where Kelly Rowland and Frank Gatson searched for and formed the next girls group. In this episode, you hear all about what these ladies have been up to since the show, what they're currently working on, what challenges they've had as a group that has made them stronger, as well as what each individual member brings to the group as a collective. This episode was crazy fun, and I really cannot wait for you to hear it. But before we take a deep dive into it, I want to remind you and ask that you please subscribe to the podcast so you know exactly when all of these amazing interviews are released and can come straight to you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Millennial Dreamers, today on the podcast, we have the amazingly talented group, June's Diary, with us. Ladies, how are you doing today? You know, when you are a bomb singer, you just really can't resist the urge to sing. So, it's just a part of it. But we are here live from the Essence Music Festival here in New Orleans. I know this is not your first time performing at Essence Fest. How does it feel to be back again, showcasing your talent and performing for the 25th anniversary?
Honestly, a blessing. Like, we didn't expect to get called the first year. So to be called back 3 times is amazing. Really, really amazing. And we're just happy to be here, like I say all the time, around so much beautiful Black girl magic and just Black energy.
Yes, and I did not start by asking you all to introduce yourselves. I know who you are, but I would love for the listeners to know your name and voices. So if you could introduce yourselves.
Hey, y'all, I'm Kristal.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley.
Hey, I'm Gabby.
Hey guys, my name is Brienna. What's up, y'all? I'm Shyann, and together we are June's Diary.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Now, you were introduced to us from the show Chasing Destiny on BET a few years back, and we understand that a lot can happen in several years. So what has been transforming for June's Diary since we all met and fell in love with you from the show?
Fell in love?
Yes, girl.
A lot has happened. Well, we got to live together. We put together a mixtape. We've done tons of covers. We just released an EP. Well, not just. It feels like yesterday, but a year ago we released an EP called All of Us, which you can get on iTunes.
Yes.
And we've just been getting to know each other, working on new music, writing, starting to write together. That's something that we'd never done before, and working on our new album.
Nice. And I'm glad you mentioned the new album because I wanted to know, how's that process going? Getting the album together and just like creating the sound that you want for this new project. How is that process?
This is Shyann. I would have to say it's a roller coaster. We are an amusement park. You never know what you're gonna get, and we all have different sounds. So we want to really put each and every one of us into our album. So we're literally like trying to go through the process and make sure that we touch everybody, and you actually get to see everyone on the album. And we like to stress the fact that we don't live in the same place. So recording from wherever we are is hard, but we're trying our best to make it work because we have an amazing sponsor, Spirit Airlines, where we fly for free. So whenever we have something to do, we link up and record either in Atlanta or LA. So or a hotel room. We've done that too. We were just in a hotel room in New York recording. So yeah, that's probably been the most challenging part, but like Bree and Shy said, it's been a beautiful thing.
And how often do you guys get to see each other since you're not in the same place and get to record together like every day?
I guess it depends on, gigs or what our recording schedule is, but maybe like a few times a month, for a couple days at a time. A lot of it is occupied with like rehearsals or interviews or, things like that. So, yeah.
And you mentioned in your EP, All of Us, which I love, and one of my favorite songs from the EP is Take Me, because the dancer in me likes the body roll when I'm like, yes, give it to me. And also, it was another song that I was listening to, and I was like, I should probably just drive and not do this because I don't want to like crash. Exactly. So what's your favorite songs to perform from like your EP or a song that you've recorded together?
All of Us is honestly to the same. Yeah.
I think it's All of Us just because it's true to who we are as a whole. We get to, can I curse on here?
Go right
We
ahead.
get to talk shit.
Yeah.
And be ourselves. So I think for all of us, no pun intended, that song is really fun for us to do.
One thing in particular that I find so impressive is that you guys have 5 girls together, and we don't get to see as many girl groups as often as we should, and each of you have such great talent. So what, as individuals, do you feel like, I know you all bring something separate to the table, what do you think each one of you brings different to the group that makes the collective that much stronger?
It's easier to say it about each other and not about ourselves. So I guess we'll each just take somebody.
Okay.
I'll say Shyann. Shyann brings, she gives us youth, honey. She keeps us young, okay? She knows all the latest everything that we don't know. And she has great melodies and great ideas, and just sings her face off. So, yeah.
Let me see who I'm a pick. I guess Bree. She brings an island flavor. She's from, Trinidad and Tobago is her heritage, but she brings a very different flair when we're in the studio. Like, we could be literally recording a ballad and she will somehow incorporate her island flair. But that, in addition to, she's just a really hard worker. So when it comes to like cutting up music or maybe putting the trap side of Cheyenne's youthfulness into a song, she's good at editing. Bree does everything. She's a designer. She does hair tutorials. She's just an all-around hustler, and she's from Jersey, and that's what they're known for, like just different jobs. So she has so much to offer the group in pretty much every single area: fashion, hair, all that.
Nice.
Oh my
gosh. Let's see. Okay, so Kristal. And I always say this because, like, aside from singing, like, she just knows a lot about life, like weird, like, life hacks. I don't even know. Like, sometimes I'll ask like a question on how to do something, and she'll just like know how to like get like the perfect wrinkle out of the clothes, or like how to like unclog your toilet, or like something like random where she's like, oh, this little trick, oh, this, like, you just gotta do this. She can braid hair. It's like just random shit that she knows outside of singing. That's so like, damn, I need to grow up and know this shit. But outside of that too, as far as a singer goes, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I've never heard anyone belt that high. Like, I don't know. It's so effortless. Like, she is like the songbird of the group, and like the perfect high note that we need, like the perfect cherry on top that no one can quite get to. She's just like, okay, I'm like, wait, what? How did you even do that? But no, it's like, she brings us together, and she's definitely a part of the glue. So yeah.
I just want to add, sorry, the Brienna's runs are absolutely ridiculously crazy. Yeah.
So do I get to talk about both of them since nobody else?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, you gotta talk about somebody.
So you don't want to be part of it,
right? But I guess since Ashley did one so good for me, I have to do Ashley. Ashley is, like we always say, she's the heart of our group. She is always fair, and she's like one of the most loving, caring people and friends and sisters like that I've ever met and had. And she just looks out for us and makes sure that we're on top of things, like things that she doesn't need to do. Like, she could just be a selfish group member and just be this amazing singer, but she always like looks out for us and makes sure that we're good even when she doesn't have to. And that's something that I know that I really appreciate, because there's not a lot of people like her. I don't know anybody else that is as sweet as her and as genuine. And then everybody knows she sing down. Like next to Brandy. Brandy used to be like one of my idols in singing, and then it's Ashley. Like, her voice is amazing.
That is a compliment.
Like, I really look up to her.
Like, so many levels, because Brandy is just like,
last but least. Listen, so this is Shy. I have Gabby. Hi, Gabby. No, Gab, that's my dog. Gab she has this beautiful low tone, and every time like we sing harmonies and she like comes in, everybody like, who's the low? And you're like, that's that girl over there with the blue hair. And she's super fun, and she's our rebel, and everything, she kind of makes us do different things. So like Frank Sinatra, or bringing in like classical music and stuff like that, jazz music and stuff like that. So it's not just R&B. And that's what I think all of us kind of bring. Everybody literally brings a different thing. And she's awesome. I'm sorry. You're super dope. She's super fly and super confident all the time. She made always like me, like makeup and stuff like that. Like, Gabby don't wear a whole lot of makeup. And she made me feel like, and she doesn't need to. And I started looking at myself like I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need all of that. And she'd say, girl, you're fine. You don't need that. And I'd be like, you know what? You're right. Exactly. Every time that we need like a jump up or a lift and be like, okay, she always comes in and, hey, you're fine. You're beautiful. Please remember that, with your curves and everything that comes with it.
yes, look, sisterhood.
Yes.
Sister, you're amazing.
Sorry, I just want to add something. She keeps us real. Like, a lot of BS goes on behind the scenes, and people try to be shady to us and stuff, and like, she'll keep it real. Like, she'll be the one to be like, well, why we can't, blah, blah, blah. Like, a lot of people like to sugarcoat stuff in this industry, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything. Like, whenever we are doing an interview or we get asked a question like that's a little controversial, like, she knows how to be tactful but still be real, you know? So
Gotcha, and redirect the energy. And I got it. And so, speaking of that, so with the Millennial Dreamers podcast, a lot of the guests will talk about how on the climb to success, there are challenges and things that you learn that help you to grow. So what's something that you've dealt with as a group that's just like a challenge that has helped you to just get stronger together, and has helped you just kind of climb, and you know that you're getting higher and higher and closer to exactly what it is that you want to do with June's Diary?
Well, we have one of the biggest lessons that we've learned is not to depend on anybody except us five. And we have been through so much, and we've been done wrong by so many people that it's like not jaded us, but it's just taught us to be smart with our expectations of other people, and knowing always to have our own backs and to have each other's backs, because nobody else like really does, except Frank. He always there for us. But everybody else pretty much like they kind of, left us hanging. So it's like we we learned it the hard way, but it's a mistake that we're never gonna make again. And I think it made us stronger as artists, as women, like just to know to be independent.
This is Shy. I just wanted to add, like, we have these things that we have, like, it's the 3 C's: communication, consideration, and commitment. And that's what we live and die by. Like, we have to talk to each other, and we have to literally get through everything together and know that it's not about this person, that person. It's about, like you said, it's a collective. And we literally look at it just like that. I know you want to add something, Ash.
No, I think Bree and Shy pretty much said it, but if I can pinpoint it a little bit more intensely, I would just say the act of being independent. Like, that's a whole different monster. When we had a machine behind us, we didn't have to think about getting up and governing ourselves and who's gonna style us and how we get into the venue. It was all thought out. So it's been really, really hard to govern ourselves, but it's been a beautiful thing because we're learning how the business works. And we're actually in control of not only the creativity, but the things that we want to do as artists. And I think these days, Spotify and iTunes, the act of putting your own music out there and social media, you can literally be your own label. So a lot of artists don't understand that. Of course, we want the money from the label. Of course, the advance and having everything taken care of is great. But we have our hands in everything ourselves. So we really, really care. And that's why it takes us a minute to really put out our own music because we're doing all this by ourselves. So the act of being independent, we didn't think we would be independent so soon, but it's been great.
Gotcha. Do you feel that it helps you all to become better businesswomen because you have to know all the different things and wear all the different hats, and it helps you to become like an entrepreneur, better entrepreneur, businesswomen, as well as artists?
Absolutely. I think anytime that you have to take the reins and do things on your own, it teaches you how to go out there and do it yourself with nobody's help. So,
and rise.
Yeah, exactly.
Rise to the
Exactly.
occasion. Absolutely. Well, one thing that you all have that a lot of groups or artists don't have, you have a legend that's your manager and creative director, which is Mr. Frank Gatson, who's worked with so many groups. How is that working with Frank? Because I admire him so much, being a dancer myself and just knowing that all the things that he's done in his past. How has he really just kind of helped you all kind of gel together and be the manager and spokesperson?
Well, I mean, if you know Frank, then you know Frank is very frank.
Yes.
Frank says what's on his mind. He absolutely has no filter. And sometimes it can be scary if you don't know him. I've personally known him for about 15 years, so I'm used to it, but his transparency definitely helps you look in the mirror and be like, okay, let me get my stuff together. And because he'll tell you, this ain't right, that ain't right, you need to get this right. And you got to really look at yourself and be like, okay, I need to look at his resume and, he's telling the truth most of the time. We don't want to hear it a lot of the time, but Frank is just very honest, and Frank works very hard. And when he believes in something, he goes full out, nonstop, empty his pockets, whatever he got to do to make it go, he's going to do it.
Well, I know that you ladies are preparing to sing at the celebrity basketball game here at Essence. So is there anything else that you would want to share, like an inspiring word? I always like to close out and ask guests, like, what's something that you can share with an aspiring dream chaser, whether they're entrepreneurs, creatives, artists, something to just motivate them to keep going towards whatever their passion and purpose is?
I would say resilience it's a long road. Some people get rich quick, but they don't last. And some people take their time and they're able to actually learn how to be great. And I have this saying that I say now, I'm so glad that God put me in a crock pot and not on the stovetop. I had time to simmer. We had time to simmer and get it together, but you got to be resilient. You got to keep going for it. If you want something, you got to stick with it.
I would definitely have to say to be confident in the decisions that you want to make for your career, because you never know what people around you intentions are. Even it could be a family member, it could be your best friend, your boyfriend, your mama. Do you. Like, don't let anybody hold you back from achieving your goals or tell you to slow down because they want you to be on their time, and like, do your thing.
This is Shy. I would just have to say what I always say me and my mom came up with this when I was little, is you plus passion times hard work minus excuses always equal success. So that's what I would have to say.
I love that. I hope now, listeners, you got to write that down so you can have that on your wall. That's the recipe for success. Vision board.
I would just say, what's meant to be will be, and I mean that in a way of like, we're all gonna go through stuff, and we're gonna have those super low times where we want to quit, and we don't really understand the path, and we don't understand why, God, like why are you putting me through this? Why am I here? Why are you doing this to me? What have I done wrong? But we all go through that. Just remember that's what's meant to be for you will always be.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for taking time. Is it too much to ask for just like a little snippet of something before we sign out? Ooh, this was the other favorite that I was body rolling to.
Baby, won't you just stay for a little while? Baby, won't you just stay for a little while? Baby, won't you just stay for a little while? Baby, won't you just stay for a little while?
Woo! Listen, the goods from June's Diary. Thank you so much, ladies. Millennial Dreamers, we are signing out. Peace. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. But before you leave, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. We want to know what you think about the episodes that you've heard so far. Let us know by subscribing and leaving a comment. And again, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk soon.